I'm Tony Sklar with BNet TV. We are here at the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, and I am having the pleasure of speaking with Mr. Warren Dumanski. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yeah, very well done. Yes, thank you.
Excellent. Newfield. You have a particular product that you and I have just had a chance to talk about prior to getting on the camera here. But for all the people out there in BNet TV land who don't know, give us a brief description of where you've come from and where you are today.
Sure, no problem. Thanks, Tony. This is a product called TrueCall. TrueCall geolocates LTE calls in real time and presents that, as you see here, to operators so they can optimize their network. We're the only one doing LTE visualization in the world today, and we've had this commercially available since Q4 of 2011.
So I'm gonna step back for just a second. This conference is hosting 60,000 people.
Right.
Is the number that they're sort of attaining to. We can really see that the breadth of this entire ecosystem is growing and growing and growing by leaps and bounds. LTE is something that has been talked about for a very long time, and we've seen in the last 24 months being implemented at a stronger pace. Definitely in North America, we're seeing a lot more LTE spots pop up, which is providing the user inevitably some better experience. But the network still has a lot of issues.
Yeah, it's really true. LTE's really only been live for just a little bit more than a year. The reality is that many LTE operators are running a little bit blind. They don't really understand how the network's operating and what the customer experience is. And TrueCall solves that problem for them. What TrueCall tells them is where their traffic is. It tells them where they need to optimize the network or where there's capacity issues that need offloading. So TrueCall tells them not only where the traffic is, but it helps them know where and how to optimize, where drops are, where blocks are, and how to fix those issues.
So the map that we have behind us here, this is the Bay Area. This is
Silicon Valley.
Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
So a lot of tech companies in Silicon Valley.
Right.
A lot of people purchasing new smartphones with LTE capabilities. The area has a lot of new towers, but the network operator may not know where obviously these points of congestion were going to be. How do you know that this particular block radius, 50,000 people decided to purchase brand new phones and that you don't have that infrastructure where they travel to or are?
Right, so it's a totally valid point. It's a good point. So what we do is we take all of these individual call events and we bring them into our tool and we geolocate them in real time and present them in real time to an operator. And as we aggregate that, we can give you a network view of the LTE network, or we can give you a customer experience view. So we can filter from those millions and millions of call events on an individual subscriber and understand that customer subscriber experience. And we can also understand handset performance. So we can tell you, for example, if you introduce a new handset on the network, how that handset is performing in the network. Does it meet the customer experience you want it to meet?
So a good use case would be a particular handset antenna that is supposed to be superior performance in a particular tower that they've just sort of put in range.
Or a particular handset itself, like the Samsung Skyrocket, for example. What's the performance of that particular handset on the particular network? Okay, and so anyone who's introducing a new handset in LTE now in particular is very interested in that because they're not really sure. This is a new technology, and as I mentioned earlier, they're running a little bit blind, which is a scary thing for operators. And so we give them a view that they don't otherwise have.
So as opposed to an operator running out and having to put up an entire new set of infrastructure tower-wise that could be expensive, they may put in a small cell.
Well, yeah, they could put in a small cell to address capacity. But there's a number of other ways to address optimization questions like drive test and other tools like this. All those tend to be quite expensive. With TrueCall, you let your subscribers do your drive testing for you. You use the information from your subscriber database, from your subscribers, to in turn provide you with the maps and the reports that we just talked about.
With this particular tool, you said that this is just been in the marketplace now for how long?
It was launched commercially in Q4 of 2011.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so that being said, what are some of the stats or use cases that you've seen come out of it where you're like, wow? Yeah, okay, great.
One is people like to use a lot of data. That's for sure.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Surprising, isn't it? The other thing that's amazing is the variability within the LTE network you have a wide disparity in terms of throughput rates around the network, which is very largely driven by interference. So interference mitigation is probably the key to a positive customer experience in LTE. And I've been in many places where you can look at many places where throughput is excellent and receive signal strength is poor. Throughput can still be good because the interference levels are low. And other places like events, like public events, sure, where interference levels are high, LTE throughput rates are just terrible. And so we see that in the tool as we look around at these various LTE networks.
So what would you say in the ensuing next few quarters, just some exciting momentous occasions that you're looking forward to seeing out of this product?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are coming. If I could add one other really important use case, please. What's interesting for a 4G or an LTE operator is they've overlaid the network typically on an existing 3G network. And what they need to understand is where are their customers handing in and handing out of 4G to 3G or 3G up to 4G. Because if their customers are buying an LTE phone, you really want them to be operating an LTE, and they don't always operate an LTE.
The customer wants to be able to be operating in that experience, no question about it, and they don't necessarily know the map coverage.
They don't necessarily.
All they know is that they've got a phone, the network says it can do it, I'm good to go.
And it's not always the case. So managing the customer experience, managing and understanding the experience into and out of 4G, from 4G to 3G is really, really important. And our customers are starting to do that a lot more. Because, again, up till now, it really hasn't been visible to them.
And again, I want you to reiterate the fact that it's a global issue.
It is a global issue. It really doesn't matter where you're deploying LTE. It's going to be the same problem, right? So this question about, I'm going to deploy LTE, what's my throughput? What are my customers going to experience? How do I manage that? These are all global issues that every new operator has to deal with.
So you've got a very good wide arena that you're probably excited to sell this product to, because the infrastructure is being deployed as we speak. We
do indeed. We're targeting every LTE operator in the world. Anyone who's got it now or thinking about getting it, we want to talk with them at this show and of course afterwards. And hopefully they'll all be good TrueCall customers. Fantastic. Listen, Warren, thanks very much for taking the opportunity to speak with us here today. Congratulations on a fantastic value set and product that there's no question you're established in the right place, right time. Thanks, Tony. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Speaking with Warren Dumanski of Newfield Wireless here at Mobile World Congress in Barcelona. I am Tony Sklar with BNet TV.